My lords, in our last report we detailed the legendary Paragons who have entered our galaxy. Today we shall discuss the 16 known as the Renowned. We shall start with Atruion, a xenophobic machine. Our initial scans revealed that the outer shell of the robot is hundreds of years old, its voice monotone, but its words are oddly resonant. The machine acts as a leader in battle, a general, a marshal of sorts. It appears to want to align, for lack of a better word, our citizens' people. The robot states, "Data indicates misalignment between your government and its subjects, lack of discipline, substandard indoctrination. Recommended action, addition of Atruion to the system. Eliminate unnecessary function and prioritize order." When we queried why the robot had come to us, it simply said that every society is an equation, and asked that we allow it to solve ours. Apparently, there is no need for uncertainty. The machine believes that our civilization approaches ideal conditions. Perfect balance can be attained in the shortest period of time. It calculates the likelihood of success at 91.1%. We asked the machine to elaborate further, and from a port on the robot's chest, dozens of holograms were projected. It launched into a long and droning explanation that included statistical analysis, economics, psychological profiling, and genetic manipulation. We quickly realized that one of the holograms is a progress bar, and it indicated that the presentation would last another 127.8 days. It was at this point that we accepted the robot on his proposition. The machine appeared to have a number of dominant traits. First and foremost, it was incredibly intolerant, for a machine at least, but it did seem to have a very good logistical understanding, as one would expect. Within a number of days of joining our empire, it came to us with two propositions. The first was a population control program. Apparently, at the expense of certain personal freedoms, we can increase production of our population by at least 6.98%. The second was a criminal reformation program. Again, according to the machine, the more troublesome elements in our society could be turned into diligent citizens. His risk assessment estimated that 17.3% of the criminal population would be impossible to rehabilitate, and should be considered acceptable losses. Baron Victor Shuadan. The Baron is of an imposing stature. Everything about him radiated rigid military discipline. His boots spotless, his uniform neatly pressed, and his eyes are watchful and calculating. There was something else. His face is a map of grief. The Baron tells us that he comes to offer his services as an admiral and tactician. He asks that we accept his pledge, and he will attempt to crush those who would do us harm. When questioned why the Admiral did not have a fleet, he stated, "To my shame, it is lost. We were orbiting a red star, making vital repairs when an enemy ambushed us. They came from all directions and outnumbered us 1 to 50. I watched as my ships and their crews met their end around that hellish star. As a parting gift, I was allowed to live. Even now, I carry the shame of that defeat. House Gia'Zumon fell with me. After my defeat, I was consumed by a thirst for vengeance. Believe me, my enemies have now paid for what they did. My honour may have been taken from me, but not my skill in battle. On this, I pledge my life." Clearly, we have here a very competent admiral and strategist. He certainly has a very militaristic mindset. However, we also believe him to be a capable fleet organiser and armada commander. We would be wise to accept his service. The Baron, after being with us for some time, at long last, we believe he has recovered from the emotional shock of the fall of his once proud noble house. Now unburdened by the guilt, he seems to have found a new purpose in service to our people. Borin. The sure and sturdy mechanic is squeezed into an excess exoskeletal suit. Tools, scattered parts, and greasy hands bear the telltale marks of a tinkerer. His eyes glint with curiosity and enthusiasm. He introduces himself. "Morning, boss. I'm Borin, son of Nogga. Pleased to meet your acquaintance." According to Borin, he's been a salvager for approximately 30 years. If you need things built or repaired, he can do it. He states, "Not to boast or anything, but I fixed everything there is to be fixed. And not just me, I've got a team of custom bots to dismantle, cut, weld, gather, repair, and reassemble whatever you need. Give me a crew and I can service your whole navy if you want. The bigger the better, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just trying to make my way in the galaxy, and you seem like an employer that values hard work and a steady hand. Someone who sees the world for what it is, taking the things we have and using them to build a better future. Ever since I can remember, I've dreamed of cruising the void. I want to push myself, see how far I can go. So I packed my tools, and here I am. Now, unless you have any more questions for me, what do you say we get to work?" Borin, although he comes across a little rough around the edges, is a marvellous scientific engineer. He is also a capable analyst. He has a deep knowledge and understanding of materials, and is an all-round natural engineer. There are rumours, however, that he uses illicit substances to cope with stress. Nevertheless, we think he will be a capable addition to our leader pool. Borin has been with us a number of weeks now, and he brought with him a biography that includes not only his life story and travels, but includes everything he knows about engineering research, construction, and rare materials. We believe our scientists could learn a few things from this document. The other thing that Borin brought with him was a robot companion named Brelia. The robot is capable of advanced learning and has a personality matrix. It assists him with his research and repair. However, like its creator, it seems to be extremely curious. It longs to leave home and embark on its own adventures, Borin hopes that one day it can play an autonomous role within our society. We think it could make quite the fitting administrator, and perhaps one day an exploratory scientist. Gia'Zumon. A litter of enormous proportions is carried by a procession of slaves. Atop it sits a formidable reptilian. All the hallmarks of a warlord are here. Extensive scarring, brazen weaponry, and the skeletal remains of her past kills. As Gaia removes herself from her throne, the members of her entourage prostrate themselves before her. She growls and states, "I will lead your armies. I will break your enemies. Their worlds shall burn, and their riches shall be yours." When asked why she wished to join us, she stated, "I have sacked many worlds. It was easy and it was boring. The weak waste their time on bureaucracy, art, and senseless blather." She let out a feral hiss and bared her jagged teeth. "Your empire is mighty, and your foes worthy. Let me destroy them. Give me a proper fight." When asked on the location of her army, she stated, "Now that was a day to remember. 2 years ago we invaded a remote world. We annihilated all who opposed us and seized everything of value, taking the survivors as slaves. Then reinforcements arrived." She touches one of the trophies hanging from her belt. "Such magnificent carnage, an ode to brutality. In the end they crushed us, but my warriors died well. I come to you now not for riches or glory, I come seeking a challenge. War is a sport, a necessity, a tool. But the fight, now that reveals much. There is no purer way to test one's limits, and who would not be invigorated at the prospect? It appears that after some time with us, apparently she has had enough of the weaklings that plague our homeworld. She has proposed an arena where glory hunters may be pitted against criminals. Such a plan is sure to provide our warriors with valuable training, and as such we agreed. The fighting pits proved most popular, and Gaia has come to us once again. She tells us that she once fought side by side with a great warrior named Husk Gotra, who is looking for a new master to serve. According to Gaia, he is a ruthless admiral, and she speaks very highly of him. She is petitioning us to let him join our empire. Judge Uldaga. The judge is adorned in rich, intricate robes. Despite his obvious age, his eyes are alert and betray a keen intellect. He greets us. "Salutations, I come to offer my services as a keeper of the peace. I am old. I have served my time in office. Though it is the custom of my kind to give way to the young, I am not finished. Crime knows no border, and I still have much to offer. Many in the galaxy approach me with offers of employment, but what sense is there in working for those who misuse their authority? I believe that our values align, and it would be my privilege to serve your people. The universe is a merciless judge, and as sentient beings, it is up to us to do better. It is through reason alone that fairness is born. His gaze rests. For a brief moment, he seems to forget himself. The power of the law must be used with caution, lest it become its own injustice. According to the judge, he is one of few selected and anointed as judge among his own people. Apparently, this is a position of great honor. He has memorized the laws of many worlds, and through long experience has learned how to balance the scales of justice. The judge himself is a fine admiral and tactician. Although unusual for an admiral, he tends to adopt a more pacifistic approach. He is a robust peacekeeper, although his cautious approach creates the outward view that he may be lethargic and slow to act. The judge has been investigating a criminal network that has been growing quietly within our borders. He has put together evidence that connects various crime lords and pirates with corrupt politicians and military officers. The judge has begun to implement new systems to expedite judicial proceedings in cases like this, with the intention to catch all criminals before they have a chance to leave our jurisdiction. Furthermore, the judge has spent his life studying the nature of crime and the motivation of violent offenders. He seeks advice from experts and studies the cultures of other empires, both living and dead. He has used advanced algorithms to envision what a utopian society could look like. His life's work is culminated in a vast sociological essay that he hopes will serve us as a guide for future generations. General Jynn. The warrior is armed with advanced weaponry, and armor scans reveal extensive biological and cybernetic enhancements. He greets us. General Jynn, at your service. I'm an envoy of the numinous Equilibrium. I've been sent to defend those in need, and believe I can help bring about the end of tyranny. Please, accept my oath, and I shall put my arms at your service. I'm a soldier in service to an ideal. My order works to end oppression and free the enslaved. For this, we spill blood. The founder of the numinous Equilibrium preached a doctrine of equality. Freedom is fragile as it is beautiful, and power was not meant for a single hand. It is a burden that must be shared. Members of my order must vow to uphold these values. Yours is a civilization that celebrates equality, where any individual may rise to greatness on their own merit. Is that not reason enough to join you? It appears that Jynn is an able general, and thanks to his genetic and cybernetic modification, he is supremely effective as a warrior. If he has a downside, it tends to be his reclusive nature. He does not enjoy the limelight. However, we would view this to be an extremely minor negative, and perhaps even a positive. Jynn brings with him an apprentice, another able warrior currently being shaped in his image. We hope to be able to use them as an officer in our own armies, or perhaps one day they will be ready to lead forces on their own. Jynn also brings with him the logistical support of the New Mystic Order, and we have already begun receiving regular shipments of alloys and consumer goods to help bolster our economy. Kai-Sha, the Spymaster. Scans showed that the woman's cloak concealed a truly shocking array of weaponry. We cannot find any official record of her existence, yet facial recognition algorithms placed her in the vicinity of at least 3 high-profile assassinations. She speaks. Allow me to dispense with the formalities. You are obviously no fool. You understand that the play of the universe is full of danger, most of them invisible. For the right price, I can reveal them. She refuses to answer who she is, stating that she is no one of importance. Better to ask what I can do for you. I'm a useful tool. Give me time and no one will dare rebel. After all, there cannot be a betrayal if the traitors are already dead. Working as an independent has its perks, but stability is not one of them. After a while, one tires of playing all sides at once, and to be honest, I was starting to attract too much attention. The shadow of your throne is as good as any spot to help me lay low, and it lets me try my hand at a different, more subtle game. When asked why we should trust her, she stated, "You can't, and shouldn't. I sell to the highest bidder. Just make sure that that's you and there's no need to worry. Besides, if someone says that you should trust them, I would say that that person is suspicious, perhaps even treacherous. I would immediately send a team to bug their home, tail them and keep tabs on them." Kai outwardly acts as a general, although her talents are obviously better used in the shadows. She will be incredibly valuable in espionage operations, no doubt increasing our ability to infiltrate, and reducing the cost and logistics of such operations. Upon joining us, she offered a database containing sensitive information gathered over the years from her extensive contacts. The massive cache includes everything from schematics of military installations, secret research, and extracts from mine probing. What is offered was extremely valuable and will increase our research output significantly. She also came with an array of network contacts throughout the galaxy. Some are willing informants, and others, we're told, can be blackmailed or brainwashed. The information she can gather will be extremely beneficial. Lysator Singh. Facial recognition scans identify the individual as Lysator Singh. A wanted pirate, he offers a polite nod and speaks. "Greetings, I'm Captain Lysator. I come to you with an offer. I command 3 ships and a ragtag crew of outcasts. Until now we have worked independently. That said, times are changing and we are ready to join a larger enterprise. If you grant us full pardons for our crimes and a safe haven within your borders, we will work for you. What do you say? Should we draw up a contract?" We of course questioned him further. I think of myself as a privateer. Some things you just can't learn in an academy. My skills lie in finding opportunities and when to strike, when to retreat, and when to dangle bait in front of a foe. Then we hit hard and where it hurts, and we make off with the loot before anyone realizes what's happened. My crew is tired of living life on the run, and we seek a safe harbor. Your empire seems open enough to allow a collection of outcasts into your ranks. Rebooting has cost us much. We're not exactly looking to settle down, but a Patreon of your caliber could take a certain load off. My crew consists of escaped slaves, bounty hunters, soldiers of fortune, and even the odd chef from all over the galaxy. They've all answered the call of liberty and adventure. Over the years we've grown into a family of sorts, and I welcome anyone as long as they follow my orders and don't try to eat one another. I consider it a personal honour to lead them. On the face of it, the Admiral appears to be a capable tactician. He specifically excels in guerrilla warfare. He is adept at commanding small units to outmaneuver slower or more numerous opponents. We do however note he will almost certainly lack the organisational skills and administration team to manage a large, well-organised, well-disciplined battle fleet. Within a number of months of accepting him into our service, word of the welcome that we extended him has spread across the galaxy. Outcasts, scoundrels and pirates of all stripes now view our nation as open to all, a place where anyone can start over. Lysator is playing on this and enjoying his newfound fame. He has invited his former acquaintances to join us. Many have answered the call, looking for a better and new life. Nazus, Dementor. The man is thin to the point of starvation. There is a sense of decrepitude about him. His fine clothes have faded, his skin dry as parchment, and his voice rises barely above a whisper. My name is Nazus Dementor. I'm a collector of dust and myth. Thank you for receiving me. The galaxy is old, long before yours came to be. Countless other civilizations rose and fell. I seek to uncover the truth of their past, anything that may be preserved and may be learned upon. I hope to find artifacts, wisdom and splendor, but not only this. All things have an echo in their past. Paradoxical, isn't it? How in our fight against oblivion, we often forget to listen. Nazus is a veteran scientist, an explorer with many, many decades of experience. He is a vibrant storyteller who is much loved by his crew and anyone who comes to meet him. He is also highly adept at surveying new systems and setting up and organizing archaeological dig sites. After being with us for some time, Nazus has discovered a new cache of ancient relics. He pieced together information of their whereabouts from old myths and logs traded from rogue roaming pirates. The origin of the mysterious objects remains unclear, but by absorbing low-frequency sound, they occasionally produce slight temporal distortions. We hope the technology will prove beneficial. Furthermore, he intercepted a strange message distorted by static. The message has reverberated between the stars for millennia, and it contained a greeting from an ancient civilization as well as the precise location of their homeworld. When we reached it, the species had been extinct for quite some time, but we hope there may still be important remnants and ancient knowledge to uncover on their home planet. Nona, the woman, bears several fascinating gifts: preserved shard from a comet, a Tianki bone carving, and a tiny molluscoid in a jar. She speaks. Greetings. I bring these gifts as a token of esteem. I've explored many worlds and relearned many lessons. With your blessing, I would like to study your culture, and in return, share the wisdom of 100 civilizations. My expertise lies in both xenology and diplomacy. Knowledge, credits, and conversation are what I have to offer. What more could one ask for? I believe the best way to understand a foreign culture is to embrace it. I discovered love for the first time on an alien world. I was fascinated by my partner and their culture, and even though we're no longer together, that relationship taught me the meaning of tolerance and respect. Since then, I've tried to assimilate as much as I can in the places I visit, free from the burden of judgment. You have an openness and honesty that I find appealing. Like me, you see the possibilities in collaboration. It will be a privilege to live among such open souls. Nona is a highly xenophilic scientist. She is an excellent deep space explorer, and her vessel is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to propel her deep into the unknown. After several months of being with us, her ex-partner, a Blorg governor, has inquired to join our empire. According to Nona, the governor has fallen on hard times and is looking for a fresh start. His name is Kerem. Nona claims that Kerem has a vast expertise in the management of mining worlds, and that the governor has brought a cache of precious minerals as a token of goodwill. Apparently there is no ill will between the two of them. However, we have had our differences with the Blorg in the past. I am unsure if this is a good idea, and I leave the decision with you, my lords. Can we truly trust a Blorg? Voila, the ruthless. A renowned governor and aquatic, he has a strong focus to build industry and acquire wealth. Reports regarding his personality appear mixed. Many refer to him as a slimy, unappealing worm. But despite favouring an authoritarian governing style, he appears to be quite submissive and prone to sucking up to whoever he believes holds the most power. His skin glistens with vicacious secretions. He bows low from the waist, and when he speaks, his voice is surprisingly high-pitched, almost childlike. My lord, your honour, O supreme ruler, I am but your humble servant. Your word should be my command. Let me take charge of one of your planets, and I shall bring you glory and wealth. We both know how things are. The commoner is lazy, always demanding more rights, higher wages, and more freedom. Left unchecked, they would stuff their bellies with what rightly belongs to you. But if I were placed in charge, just give me a planet, and I will squeeze these silly notions from their heads. They will show gratitude, glorious one. Oh, they will indeed. Some are born to rule, the rest must be led. That is the order of things. You can trust me, I will serve you faithfully. We remarked that he grovelled quite well, to which he responded, Oh, most excellent one, this is but a taste. Shall I go on? Compared to you, I am but slime. I am but a lava wriggling in the dirt. Praising you is my honour and my privilege. Your mere presence floods me with joy. Let me serve you with boundless devotion. We believe that Quelart would be a ruthless governor, with an iron hand and a complete indifference towards safety regulations. However, he would drive output at the cost of lowering life expectancy and the occasional mass strike. He is cruel undoubtedly, and will lead with an iron fist. After many months with us, the decadent governor has built an extravagant palace for himself. This palace is as much a symbol of his power and wealth as his own vanity and corruption. To celebrate its completion, he will hold a grand feast, to which everyone of importance has been invited. And in a rare show of generosity, he has also shared some of his riches with the population. Regarding this large palace, we have begun looking into his finances, and we have caught the governor embezzling. Apparently this has been going on for quite some time, and he has stashed his wealth in not just bank accounts, but also underground vaults and deep space deposits throughout the galaxy. In the face of charges, he threw himself to the ground, swearing that these items were intended as gifts for the Emperor. I leave the choice on how to deal with him to you, my lords. Factorator Shuadan. The alien is encased in a goggling life support unit. Thick fluid slashes through tubes and vents, causing his speech to emerge in a wet gurgle. He speaks. Your industrial planets are a disgrace. You could benefit from my expertise. Let me show you the meaning of efficiency. The alien's tentacles twitch wetly against the helmet glass. Reward the strong, hull the weak. The galaxy has no shortage of workers, and I will bring them to you. They will work, or they will die, and the profits will flow. You do not mingle with outsiders, and I share these values. When we asked if that's why he wears an environmental suit, he responded with, just so. In here, nothing can touch me. In here, I am clean. The Factorator is a skilled governor, an industrialist. He is capable of squeezing more resources from the lower class citizens. He has forged focus and will likely increase our industrial output by a significant margin. The Factorator suggests automating our shipping methods. His proposed plan would link the factories, refineries, and processing facilities together through a complex network of pipelines and conveyor belts. Although the project looks good in theory, there are risks for the populations living nearby. Between industrial spillage, radiation concerns, and a high-frequency vibration, the danger is real. Furthermore, he presented research plans to evaluate future industrial development. This could benefit the economy as well as his own personal projects, and he has prepared a number of experiments that look very promising, but would most likely kill a number of test subjects. He assures us the small sacrifices are necessary for the greater good. Ulastar, the Oracle. The alien stands motionless. Fate guides my steps. I have crossed the blind reaches to stand before you. I am Ulastar, the Oracle. On one path, a white flame burns against the void. Along the other lies a splattering ember. You will face terror, and it shall be your undoing. The threads of fate weave the thinnest hope. Doom may yet be averted. You have sought me out, or perhaps you will. I will share my visions with the faithful. I will right the ship of your nation as it prepares to plunge into the storm. Many years ago, I toiled in the pits of a planetary mine. Though my physical body could see, my soul was blinded by the material world. Then came my day of awakening. They called it an accident, but I knew it as providence. A sudden explosion fried my optical nerves. In the darkness that followed, I perceived the river of time. To this day, it flows before my eyes. Ulastar appears to have some psionic skill. He is a shroud preacher, and we believe that he will be able to enhance our other psionic citizens. We also think that non-psionic citizens may be able to be taught some ways of the shroud. Furthermore, he brings with him a following of other psionics from various species. We can accept them into the fold should we wish. Vas the Gilded. Another humanoid, and this one is relatively young compared to some of the other paragons around her. Vas is a charismatic diplomat raised in the Asylum Magneta Sisterhood. She is a pacifist and renowned governor, but conversely is renowned for waging war through guile and negotiation. Rumour has it she has a taste for the fineries in life, perhaps making her a potential target for bribery, despite her aloof, dignified demeanour. She offers her services as a governor and a diplomat, and states, "Make me your ally, and I will ensure you have powerful friends in every corner of the galaxy. I believe that peace is the only thing that can create a stable future for our galaxy. The art of diplomacy is a subtle thing, and I believe you respect this." Vas has a wide reputation for hosting lavish feasts. The gatherings are known for spectacular performances by members of the Elysium Magnetar. Exotic food and drink, as well as philosophical and ethical discussions are had. Here, friendships are formed, business deals are struck, and old grievances forgiven. Her ability to unite such desperate individuals lays a solid foundation for our future prosperity. She is also a true artist when it comes to charm and persuasion. She's used her contacts and political clout to gather vital information from all over the galaxy. She has kept all of her knowledge in a family heirloom, a pale green crystal that she occasionally wears at lavish feasts. When held up to a specific spectrum of light, its secrets are projected in a magnificent halo. Now she believes the time has come to use this knowledge for the good of society. Xondar. Suspended on a massive mobility crane is the head and torso of a humanoid. Once, this must have been an organic being, but most of what remains is metal, wires and plastic. Without warning, his body jolts, comes to life. Two synthetic eyes begin to glow, and a crackling voice emerges. "I am Xondar, and I seek a command. I was once flesh and blood like the rest of my people, but I was vulnerable to age and disease. My flesh was weak, so I shed it. My consciousness was digitized and uploaded. I had broken free of the body that held me prisoner." We asked him why he wished to join us, and he responded, "Superstition, religion, baseless lies used only to inflame the heart to murderous passion, the cause of countless wars and suffering. You and your people see through such nonsense. What is real can be seen, tasted, and touched. Just as the flesh must be discarded to reach perfection, childish fantasies must be cast aside. The form you see before me is but one part of me. The void is my home, and I am one with my ships. My consciousness is ingrained in their very systems. The sensors are my eyes and ears, the hull is my skin. With me at the head, I can direct your fleets into an unprecedented level of excellence." Xondar is an experienced admiral and fantastic tactician. He employs cunning tactics to mitigate enemy strengths and outsmart their officers. Furthermore, he is a resilient commander and adept at using torpedoes and swarmer missiles. However, he does have limitations. He can only control a limited fleet, as he demands that he personally oversees every detail of its operation. After some time with us, he claims to have improved his physical form in a number of ways. Without seeking permission, he sent messages across the fleet celebrating his perfected state, and has released a manifesto claiming that the only viable future for our civilization is through synthetic ascension. I leave it in your hands what to make of this, my lords. Zosira K'Tun. The scientist is focused on a tablet in her hand. As fingers dance over the keys, she hums a cheerful melody. She seems lost in her work and oblivious to the world. A small robot companion floats in the air next to her. It chirps and bumps her shoulder. She looks up. "Hello, I am Zosira. Sorry to bother you, but my last lab, well, it sort of blew up." The small robot chirps again. "What I'm trying to say is, I'm looking for a place to compose. You see, the universe is music. The vibrations from the orbiting gas giants, the roar of a newborn star, the sweet song of swirling atoms." She gestures with her hands as if she was conducting an invisible cosmic orchestra. "I want my discoveries to benefit everyone, not just the rich and powerful. The symphony of the universe, the wonders, the magic. Everyone deserves to hear it." The small robot chirps again. "That's right, Gorky. Very well said." "Oh, this is Gorky. Isn't he adorable? I built him myself and he helps me with everything." The robot chirps again happily. "Gorky makes sure that I make my meetings, eat, drink, and sleep. You know, when I get passionate about something, I just lose all track of time." We questioned her about why her lab blew up. She responded, "Where to start? You see, my homeworld is very restrictive when it comes to who is allowed to be a scientist, so I put the lab together in secret using what I could scavenge from the old industrial zones. Now I thought the ionization field would keep the volatile motes stable, but..." The small robot chirps and beeps. The bass from those motes was truly booming. Zosira is a truly gifted scientist and researcher. She also appears to be a driven educator. It appears that nothing is more important to her than a proper education, and so she puts a great deal of effort in cultivating young minds, and is aided by a devoting following of graduates. After being with us for some time, it appears that she has adopted an alien creature to accompany her robot assistant, Gorky. It's a colourful mollusk, who though pre-sapient exhibits an impressive intellect and responds to whistled commands. Taking responsibility for the creature appears to have altered her personality, making her far more responsible and balanced. We are pleased to say that she appears to have acquired an emotional support pet. Thanks for watching, folks. Who out of the 16 is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear about the legendary Paragons, please click the video on screen now.